You are not the thinker of your thoughts. What? How can this be? What are you doing right now? I know you think you're thinking, I'm so confused. See what I did there? But in fact, you've never thought a single thought in your life. So if you're not the thinker of thoughts, any thoughts, what are they really? Why do they come to you? And what is the purpose? These are really great questions, my non-thinking friend. And since most manifestation teachers teach you your manifestations depend on your thoughts, I want you to come with me on this quick journey to peel back this layer of illusion that you are your thoughts and your thoughts are keeping you from your manifestations, and they really are keeping you from knowing yourself a little deeper. So my intention for you is to stay to the end of this video, and I will share with you 3 easy steps so you will be able to separate yourself, your true self, from all the thoughts that you thought you were thinking and that you think are yours, so that you can pick the thoughts you actually want to manifest. And I'll let you in on a little secret. Step 3 is so much fun. So let's dive in. Okay, let's dive right into step 1. We need to separate you from what you think is your thought. And if we ask you to say, okay, you are this beautiful consciousness, and then thoughts are thoughts. But to drive this home a little bit, we're going to use an analogy of a radio, right? A radio with radio stations. So if you think about the radio in your car or the radio in your house, each radio, let's say FM radio, has different stations based on frequency, right? So if you tune into one radio station that has classic rock, you expect to hear classic rock songs. If you tune into the jazz station, you expect to hear jazz. If you turn into the rap station, you expect to hear rap. So you would not tune into the classical rock station and expect to hear jazz, right? So you're very alert and aware as to which station has which songs. And as you're listening to a song on a certain station, if it's not a song that you like or you want to listen to, you have some choices. You can turn off the radio, you can turn down the volume, you could switch to another station for another song. Okay, so this is really important. The other thing is that we do realize that when I say to you there's a song on the radio, you don't think there's a song sitting on top of the radio. It implies that the song is being projected through the radio so that you could hear it, right? So you have an idea that, oh, I want to listen to some music. You turn on the radio, you tune into a station, and voila, there are some songs. So it's very easy to say that the radio is not the song. The radio station is not the song. The song comes through the radio station for you to listen to. Very powerful in this understanding. We can separate the radio from the song. And that we know that the radio station is the theme. And because of the theme chosen, there's certain types of songs that will come through. Now, let's bring this back to you, why you're not the thinker of thoughts. Okay, so just like the radio is the radio and the songs are the songs, you are like the radio. You are the receiver, right? The radio station receives the song and pushes it out so that you can receive it and hear it. You're like the radio station, and based on what frequency you're at right now, you're going to get access to certain thoughts, just like a certain radio station, such as classic rock, will get and project classic rock thoughts, right? You will not tune in, once again, to classic rock to hear jazz. So now you, as this beautiful receiver, you are consciousness, you are life itself. You do not need thought to exist. And you can prove that to yourself very easily right now. If we took 10 seconds and you just sat here for 10 seconds, no thought. Let's do that now. Wonderful. So you sat here for 10 seconds, you had no thought, and yet you were fully aware. You are the awareness, you are the observer. You observe through your eyes and your ears and through your skin and your feels, right? So as this observer, you don't need thought to exist. You have to be observing for anything in your observation to exist. So anything that comes into your awareness and can leave is not you. Right? So if someone walks in the room that you're in now and leaves, you can say they are not you because you observe them come in and you observe them leaving. So now, and we have that distance between ourselves and other people and the song and the radio station. We don't confuse the song for the radio station or vice versa. We now can say that you are the station or the awareness or the consciousness that all thoughts can come through. And when you begin to realize this, that you are not your thoughts, what happens is an identification process, which we're going to talk about in the next step. But I want to make sure before we leave step 1 here that you understand that there's a radio and there's songs that play on the radio, but the songs are not the radio and the radio is not the songs. You are the consciousness in which thoughts come in, and you must identify with those thoughts. But because it feels like you, or you've been taught up until this point, you're thinking all these thoughts, you believe them to be you automatically. And now we're going to give you an opportunity to learn discernment of how you are not your thoughts, but you can choose the ones that you want. Okay, so before we start step 2, just a quick reminder to like and subscribe to this channel for more mind-bending manifestation videos. All right, let's get to step 2. Now we have established and identified that you are not thoughts, that you are the consciousness that thoughts come through. Now, once a thought comes through, it must audition for your attention. So just imagine you're a director and you're going to put on a play, and you have so many people coming in and auditioning for you, and they do a little snippet so that you can see their talent, what they're offering, but you have to know what you're looking for, right? The director and the producers have to know what they're looking for. So you have to know what you're looking for, so that when a thought now comes in, because it is not you, it's coming in, and let's say that these thoughts are a portal to the reality that they represent. So if a thought comes in that I am hungry, it will open up a reality where if you engage with it and you say, yes, this thought is me, I am hungry, you will then be given access to actions to act that out. Whether you immediately go get something to eat or you sit there and you contemplate what you want to eat, it opens up so many different portals to so many different realities for you. So now that you understand you're not the thoughts, you're the consciousness that the thought comes into, and it must audition for your attention. That's why it's so powerful for you as the consciousness to be aware and observing in the now moment. Because if you're on autopilot, you'll just accept anything that comes in as true. But if you have a done deal, if you have a goal, if you have a manifestation that you want to come to fruition, and there's always thoughts going to be auditioning for your attention, you can be now aware in the now moment and say to yourself, okay, here's this thought coming in. It is not me. It wants to be me. It wants me to identify as it. Does this thought serve me and bring me closer to my manifestation, my goal, or my done deal? And if it is, then feel free to identify as it. See, before, the identification process was skipped over because you just assume that everything you're thinking, and think about this, if you have all these thoughts all day long and you're identifying with every single one of them, how would you ever even really know who you are? So what's really powerful here, going back to our radio analogy, is that where you are in your vibration or in your state of being will give you certain access to certain thoughts versus others. Just like when you're listening to a classical rock radio station, it's going to play certain songs. You're not going to find jazz on the classic rock station. So if you're in a state of agitation, then you will get thoughts, access to thoughts that enhance and build on that experience. But if you realize now that, let's say you're agitated or confused or frustrated, they're all states of being. And each word, confusion, frustration, anger, happiness, joy, gives you access to those thoughts at that level. So if you're really not sure exactly where you are right now, what level you're on, the best way to decide is to zero yourself out to neutral, just like we did earlier when you rested for 10 seconds. So sometimes it can be done in 10 seconds, and maybe sometimes you need a minute or 10 minutes. But when you can say that you're really at a true 0 point, and I teach you many ways to get to 0 point on this channel, whether you want it quick or you want a longer time to rest as awareness, once you realize that you are now at this neutral state, it'll take you right into our next step, step 3. But before we get to step 3, I just want to recap that for step 2, you are now watching the auditions that your thoughts must do for you as the main consciousness to identify with them in the now moment. This is why this gets so much fun. So just before we get to step 3, I want to know if you want to become a powerful manifester, but you believe you need a little guidance. I want to remind you that I do offer many coaching options. I know sometimes it's hard to connect the dots just by watching my YouTube videos. So I've left a link in the description box below. I do offer digital courses, one-off coaching sessions, group coaching. Starting January 14th, we have our How to Create a Powerful Manifestation Appreciation Journal group sessions. And also, I offer 3-month one-on-one coaching programs. So once again, if you're interested, click the link in the description box below and let's have a conversation. Now, on to step 3. Just as I promised, step 3 is so much fun because you have the free will in the now moment to choose what thoughts you want to activate, what thoughts you want to align to, and what thoughts you want to anchor into your reality. Now, from Neville Goddard's teaching, everyone is you pushed out. Just imagine yourself like a fountain of energy coming up from the base of your feet, out, pouring over your head and into your reality. And as this energy comes out of you like a fountain, it has in it all the thoughts that you've been thinking. And just imagine these little drops of water running all over your reality, and it's molding the reality to match the thoughts that you just had. Because we think this reality is so solid, but we can say that the reality that you're experiencing right now has been the results of the thoughts that you've been thinking up till this point, almost like a mathematical equation. But in order to change what the reality looks like in front of you, you have to start choosing and identifying with new thoughts now. And I like to say within 3 days, I teach in all of my manifestation programs that within 3 days, you should start to see your physical reality changing when, 1, you realize you're not the thinker of your thoughts, you are the receiver of your thoughts. They have to audition. These thoughts have to audition for your attention. And 3, when choosing, you are identifying that you, as the avatar in this virtual reality life video game, you're choosing to step into the reality of what those thoughts represent. This is so powerful. And the best part is when you start to look at reality this way, you no longer have to go put out the fires of the old reality. So I'm so excited that you stayed with me here till the end. And my intention here for you is that you really understand what's going on in this consciousness game of life that we're playing. So if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and feel free to share this video and channel with others. Please come back and check out all the other videos on the channel that help you become a powerful manifester. And when we work together, even if all you ever do, because I always say you don't need coaching, if all you ever do is listen to my videos and something there inspires you, you can start changing your life around in less than 3 days by identifying with new thoughts that represent a new character in a new reality. Feel free to share how this video opened up your mind to you, thoughts, and reality creation. And as always, if there's a topic that you would like to see a video about in manifestation, place that in the comments too. Enjoy. Thank you for being here.